Hello there. So I guess I'm doing another one of these, the reaction videos on my main channel. I did not get the opportunity to watch Look Back in the theaters. Every time I went to Japan, it was like at my time of landing, that's when the movie played. So I couldn't just go to the movie. And even if I did, there wouldn't be any subtitles, so I wouldn't get the meat of the story. I only understand like 70% of Japanese media if I don't have subtitles. And this movie is one of my most anticipated movies of all time. Obviously, as someone who follows Sakuga and animation culture, just one look at the names behind this project and there's no way I wouldn't be hyped. But even beyond that, as a creator, as someone who makes stupid shit like this, I can directly relate to the content and passion and display over here. Now, I know comparing myself to the creators of this movie is kind of fucking ridiculous. No, I'm not putting myself at the same level as Kiyotaka Oshiyama. It would be like me saying, oh, I relate to that 5-star sushi chef because I made a sandwich one day. But as Sakuga Relax said on Twitter, anyone who's ever even made a sandwich with their hands will be inspired by this movie. And as someone whose life revolves around art at this point, who takes the most amount of enjoyment from this medium, I understand the level of passion, dedication, and artwork that goes into creating something like this. And even more so, the hundreds of thousands of hours of passion, dedication, and hard work that came before this that allowed the artists to create this movie in the first place. This movie is an art piece created by artists for artists. I know that much, and that's why I know even before going into it that I will love this movie. So I thought I might as well share that passion with the viewers of this channel. Of course, if you're not a regular viewer of the channel or a new viewer even, if you're here hoping for high quality reactions, you might not get that from me because I'm not a professional reactor. I don't make react content and I'm most likely not going to be good at it. It's just that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm never going to watch Look Back for the first time ever again. So I wanted to share this moment with you guys. As for what I know about Look Back, I don't know much at all. I am familiar with Tatsuki Fujimoto's work. I've read through the entirety of Fire Punch, and I've watched the first season of Chainsaw Man and read the corresponding portion of the manga as well. I'm quite familiar with his artwork and his philosophies in general, and I've heard that his best works come from his one-shots, and Look Back is the first adaptation, if I'm not mistaken, of one of his one-shots. As for the production side of the things associated with this movie itself, I know a lot more about it. I'm very familiar with Kiyotaka Oshiyama's works. He is the definition of a one-man army. He's a man who clearly understands and appreciates the appeal that comes from hand-drawn animation, and he's pretty much made it his mission to flaunt that same appeal to the masses as well. He did that with Flip Flappers as well, a fantastic project. Anyone who's really into animation should definitely check Flip Flappers out, or at the very least watch its ED. Its ED is an absolute masterpiece. It's super cute and so wholesome, and it's extremely visually appealing as well. And yeah, in classic Oshiyama fashion, it was solo storyboarded, animated, directed all by Oshiyama. That said, let's get right into the video now. I know my shirt is quite a bit greasy and dirty, but I can't be bothered to dress up for a fucking reaction video. Alrighty, here we go. I have heard that it's quite an emotional movie, so I might end up crying. If you are uncomfortable with seeing a grown man crying, then yeah, you won't enjoy this reaction. For reference, I cried watching the Haikyuu movie that I watched recently. Hey, it's the line from Tom and Jerry. Oh my god, that's Cell. That is all Cell. That is all hand-drawn. This is already an incredible sequence. Wow. Oh, the uneven line work is so good already. Like the back of her hoodie in this case. I didn't even notice the mirror. That's so cool. It's like the most iconic view in the manga as well, if I'm not mistaken. This panel. Really giving me Mob Psycho vibes with the art direction. The hatching in the art direction, particularly. The reflections. That would be very dark in a different aesthetic. More background animation. This was my life when I was that age. I used to draw comics all the time. She's gonna be better. There is so much movement. It's so good. After School by Kiyomoto. Oh, wow. It's like crayon-esque. The line work reflects her emotion so well. Great imagery. I have heard all of that. The wobbly background with the weird colors. That's how it's pasted into her memory. That is so relatable. God, that is so nice. I think I'm going to keep saying that throughout the video. That is so good. Was the background animated too? I think it was. I mean, of course it is. How to get better at drawing. Just draw stupid. More importantly, just draw stupid. Yep. So her drawing, well, her driving force is this other girl who cannot come to class. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I wonder how difficult it was for Kyoto Koshiyama and all the artists to actually draw weaker artwork like that. Like the perspective drawings, for example. They've already mastered it, but they have to make it seem like it's drawn by an amateur. Why would you stop drawing at 6th grade? Why did I stop drawing at 10th grade? Who gives a fuck? Art is more important. Go have your shitty, useless conversations and waste away your fucking life. She has the classic anime main character seat as well, near the window. I did karate as well, by the way. I'm a brown belt, Dan too. They didn't really teach me how to fight though. Test scores are fucking useless, by the way. I'm a cabin crew, I earn more than a lot of highly educated people. And wow, that's a nice face. But yeah, my education did not play any role in that, except for my speech skills, I would say. But again, that didn't come from my education. That came from media consumption. I guess that's a continuous motive. Books being sent around, the papers being sent around. The disparity in quality, it's still there. Wow, oh my god, that is so good. A literal fisheye, a human eye effect. That's it. I will never be as good as Yutaka Nakamura, so I don't need to start drawing. I guess it shows the, oh man, the emptiness in her eyes. Wow. It's not that she doesn't want to draw or has given up anymore. It's simply because that's the easier option. It's much easier to be miserable by giving up. So the shadows for the background layers, I guess it's always going to be done by vertical hatches. He said suimasen, not sumimasen. Very important distinction between suimasen and sumimasen. I learned the hard way. I wouldn't necessarily do that. But then again, I don't live in Japan. She was simply working harder than you. She was not a genius. All you would have to do to reach that level is, well, stack a similar quantity of books. That's all it takes. It's not rocket science. The 4 panels. The life reflected in her eyes again. That's great. That is really nice. You're having fun. Why even? That is so good. I could just talk about this one sequence for 1 hour. I could just quit the video and do that right now. Wow. More background. What the fuck? Okay, what the fuck? Fujino Sensei. But she quit art. The patterns on the clothes are hand-drawn as well. That's why the line work splits. Those are things that would usually be compositing effects, layered once. Because, you know, who the fuck would be crazy enough to draw lines multiple times over and over again in different directions on her jacket? There must be so many complex thoughts going through her head right now. Holy shit, no background anim... there it is. Gorgeous smears again. What the fuck? I'm so glad I'm a fan of anime. That was quick. This time she embraces it. That was number one. I've already cried, and we're all not even halfway there into the movie. And she said Tadaima. She's been here many times. That's why she said Tadaima instead of Ojamashimasu. And there's a clear distinction between what they specialize in. The Hikikomori girl, she specializes in backgrounds, where backgrounds is in the foregrounds, the figures itself. I really want to stop watching and then watch that skipping sequence again. Kyo Fujino. Kyo and Fujino. Tatsuki Fujimoto? No, that's kind of a stretch. Man, it gets this bad in Japan? The snow, that is? Gosh, they're so cute. 1 million yen award. I love those shorthand drawings. You have the money as well. I mean, you can do the same thing. No, you couldn't. What? 100,000 yen? Superficial aspects, entering the passion side of things. I hope that I really want them to explore these concepts more deeply. That is incredible. Another Fujimoto reference. More cell greatness. It really tickles the cell itch that I wanted. Really? That's it? I spent fucking 50,000 yen on my last Japan visit, so we just needed to be around the right people. Gosh, the powerful artwork. That's like straight out of an Eve music video. Even the transformation of the room itself, it tells a story. I love the idea that they're showing, that they're having inspiration from real life, using it in media. More cell power, of course. That's a fantastic perspective. She really loves background art design. Great character designing as well, to show the age difference. That's true, but maybe she just wants to learn more about what she loves. Projecting. You made her cry. Come on. Wow, the line art. Even the birds are fucking hand-drawn. God. She's drawing on a... what's it called? Pentios? Some Teos tablet? That's Chainsaw Man. Or Shark Man, whatever. Sharksaw Man. Yep, that's power. Shark Kick. Sorry. That's Aki. Entuos, I think is the name. Wacom Entuos. I hope the director of Shark Kick will be able to capture its vibe in the anime. Not satisfied with that. Isn't that Tatsuki Fujimoto's life? Like, I don't think Chainsaw Man has any assistants right now because Fujimoto is not satisfied with anyone. There's something bad brewing around, I think. The room is transformed, the room is gone. And with the news, there's some shitty business going on, I think. Oh my god. Oh no. She died. Oh man. What an illustration. Incredible. The art I posted on the internet was plagiarized. Is this in reference to the QAnon arson attack? I feel like it is. The plagiarization line especially. I am most interested in seeing where the story goes from here. There's a good portion left. And that started it all. That did not have to go that hard. You're as much at fault as a butterfly is for flapping its wings. The same. It's literally a what if. I did not expect it to go this way. It's literally a what if where she stayed a shut-in. That is another Chainsaw Man reference. She still went to art school. Student sits on a sofa for a break. I don't want to see this. Do you not see what he's holding? Run. Don't freeze up. Run. It is straight up a Quentin Tarantino-fication. That's what's going on here. Of course, the what if she didn't become an artist because her driving force was not there anymore. That was definitely a Quentin Tarantino-fication, right? Quentin Tarantino does that. He changes history. I'll talk about that later. She's wearing a Kill Bill outfit. Come on.
なんで漫画描くのやめちゃったんですか？最近また描き始めたよ。
Wow. She kept all of them. Huh, the little thing she did. She's left-handed. I just noticed that. What's on the other side? The 4-panel mangas that can go through time. That was just a door opening. 2D doors. When was the last time you saw 2D doors? That is literally me right now. Except that I don't draw.
藤野ちゃんはなんで描いてるの？
Yeah, tell me. Why do you do it? Is it because you're good at it? Is it because it's all you have to postpone the existential dread? Or is it because of you? Gosh. It looks so fantastic. I wonder how many times the same landscape has been used. It's not Intuos, it's a Cintiq, isn't it? Intuos is the basic shit that I have. Cintiq is the big deal, the big screen kind of thing. That's what she has. And that's it. She continues to draw. Well, obviously, I have a lot to say. But I don't think I will be able to say anything without composing myself first. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, then. I know I look like shit right now, but I couldn't care less. I have to talk about look back. So, I don't know what happened at the end over there, why I just absolutely lost it. I was holding it together, thought I would be able to pull through, but something about Fujino drawing again, that was so powerful to me that I just broke down. To explain why, I think I have to, well, lay my thoughts, as I said before. But before I do that, there are a couple of things that I want to check. Number one is her pen name while publishing the manga itself. Shark Cake Volume 1 by Kyo Fujino. So she still stuck to the Kyo Fujino name. She used it as basically like a pen name, even though Kyomoto is no longer involved in the creation of Shark Cake. Number two, if this is in fact related to the KyoAni arson. Alright, yeah, I found this Reddit post and it seems legit as one of the replies, so it has to be legit. It's how he copes with the KyoAni arson attack, since he's a big fan of KyoAni and the Kyo of Kyomoto uses the same kanji. So Kyo Fujino is in fact like Fujimoto. It's like KyoAni and Fujimoto written together, Kyo Fujino. That's my interpretation of it. Don't look back in anger is the full message. First word you see on the first page plus title plus last words you see on the last page. You cannot change what has been done, but you can continue forward and remember how it brought to you where you are now. Stuff like Suzumiya Haruhi made Fujimoto who he is today. He was a super fan and that was his in. It must have broken his heart when the news broke about the attack, seeing your heroes die like this, suddenly and without sound reason. Without sound reason. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So it is in fact a reference to the KyoAni arson. That just makes it extra sad. Like it's a tragedy that I don't think anyone who's a fan of Kyoto Animations and the anime industry as a whole would ever fully recover from. It's hard to, go to shows that you hold dear to your heart, movies that you hold dear to your heart. You look at the credits list and then you realize they're no longer here with us because an idiot decided to do something absolutely evil for no reason whatsoever. And that knowing that look back is partly a tribute to that just makes it just that bit more influential now to my life. Call it recency bias. I think this is the best movie I've ever watched. It definitely is recency bias talking, but I know I'm gonna watch this movie more times anyway, and I think it will stay at the top. Talking about the movie itself, I just want to do a basic rundown. I haven't noted down anything, but there are a few things I do want to say. As for that Reddit post that talked about this being Fujimoto's coping mechanism, I do really like that analogy and I do think it works very well, especially because of that ending scene of basically the 4-panel manga that goes through time, first from Fujino's side and then Kyomoto's side. The piece that Fujino sent to Kyomoto in the past, Fujimoto sensei trying to save Kyoto Animation by changing the past even in a way, and then literally saving Kyomoto. It's very much in line with something Quentin Tarantino would himself do. Quentin Tarantino is a believer of justice and he would go to real crazy violent lengths to display his sense of justice. Like in Inglourious Basterds, he gives the most goofy comical death to Hitler and Nazis in general. In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's an extreme slow burn movie. It's I think 3 hours long. You're watching through it, you're like, damn, this is kind of Tarantino at his worst. I don't know what he's doing here, or I can't seem to figure out what he's doing here. I know what it's leading up to. It's the Tate murders. And you get at the end, and then Tarantino shows his true colors, and he's always flaunted his colors. You should have expected this from him, but when you see it happen, it's absolute catharsis. He literally changes history, not to disrespect it, but in a way, I feel like it's simply his coping mechanism of, well, what would happen if life was actually fair? The Tates wouldn't have been brutally murdered. Instead, the hippies would have been brutally murdered by dogs, Mortal Kombat X fatality, and a flamethrower. And it's similar to what's happening over here with Fujino saving Kyomoto in a very Kill Bill-like outfit. I know it's a regular old track outfit, but hey, it's almost 1-to-1 of the Kill Bill outfit, except it's, green, that's it. After that, the panel travels back to the future. this time from Kyomoto's side. Basically from KyoAni's side. The art that they have made, it is immortalized. It still exists. It will continue to inspire. Fujino thinks that drawing is useless. She sees the 4 panels created by Kyomoto, then God knows when, in the past. And she's inspired once again. Not to look back in pain and regret, but instead, look back at the memories that made her who she is. Not regretting the fact that she couldn't save Kyomoto by leaving her to be a Hikigomari, but instead cherishing the memories that she had with her, with that incredibly beautiful montage. So I knew I would find things that I could relate to in this movie, but I didn't know it would hit so hard. Especially the first few scenes, like Fujino, her life used to be my life, right? I had a small circle of friends who used to appreciate my drawings. I used to make comics all the time. My aunt, she worked for Air India, so she used to get like small stacks of tiny ass books. It would be, and the pages would be about the same size as a 4-panel page. And I used to draw 4-panel comics in those. Not inspired by manga, really. Not even really inspired by comics, because I never read that many comics. Except maybe Archie's, because my mom is a fan of Archie, so I read those. But other than that, Asterisk and Obelisk, is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called, right? Let me check. Yep, it's Asterix and Obelix. Yep, that's it. That was my childhood. I can't even believe that these memories exist in here. So those were pretty much my biggest sources of inspiration. And I used to make those manga, and everybody used to praise me, including my school teachers and everything, that this is a nice hobby that you have over here, that you should draw something for, I don't know, the math class to explain numbers or some bullshit like that, instead of actually giving art the respect that it deserves and nurturing 10-year-old me who loved to draw. I still regret that, even though I had no say in that. The adults around me did. The children around me did as well. They thought I was lame as fuck. And I quit. I drew till I was like, 13, 14, around the same age, because it wasn't cool anymore. And I was into other shit. I was into cars, girls, and sports. As all guys at that age. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't good at cars. And I was definitely not good at girls. But point is, I quit drawing. There were a couple of cases where I copied awesome manga panels from various mangaka, mainly from Murata Sensei. I loved Garo, so I drew Garo pretty much 1-to-1. Doesn't really take skill, as I've said before when I posted these on Twitter. It takes no skill to copy art. You know, you're not understanding the fundamentals, you're just copying it 1-to-1. But even doing that, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I tried to learn by myself. I realized that you need to learn the fundamentals of anatomy and perspectives and all that shit, and I gave up. I don't think I've drawn since. I bought this. Where is it? Yep, here it is. I bought this from Japan. It's the Wacom tablet, the Intuos that I confused with the professional Cintiq that Fujino was using. I haven't used it. I bought this, the Slam Dunk manga, also from Japan. I haven't read it because it's in Japanese. I bought it to learn Japanese. I didn't. I gave up because I didn't need to, and it was not worth my time. But time is inherently worthless. Drawing is something that is extremely useless. Why do you draw? I think it's linked to the idea of existential dread even. It's something that I've been struggling for, I don't know how long. If you are not familiar with the idea of existential dread, I don't think you should be watching this, because then I would put that idea in your brain and you would think about it. Once the idea of existential dread, it sets in, it'll never leave. So watch at your own discretion. So what I mean by existential dread is like the idea that is linked with nihilism. Why do anything? Life is meaningless. What's the point when the sun is just going to eventually explode and nothing's going to remain? That is the most negative outlook that you can have with life, and I've had that for quite a while. And as I said, once the idea gets in, it'll never go away. You can postpone it, right? I immerse myself in media. I love video games. I love anime. When I do these things, that is watch anime and play video games, I'm not talking about how my existence is meaningless, because I'm enjoying my life to at least some extent. There are things worth existing for. But ultimately, I'm just postponing that dread by utilizing some source of instant gratification. It would be so much better for me if I worked towards something that would give me a much higher sense of accomplishment. Putting in the hours to learn how to draw, finding a romantic partner and working on my relationship, learning a new language so that I can interact with new people. But why do those things? Those are difficult. It's so much easier to be miserable, but you will be miserable. It is so much harder to work towards happiness, but you'll be happy. The two ideas, life is a curse and life is a gift, are two sides of the same coin. They stem from the same fucking idea. Life is fucking meaningless. Life is meaningless. Why bother doing anything? Nothing fucking matters in the grand scheme of things. You are a pile of flesh and bones in a tiny blue dot in the middle of nowhere. Nothing you do will change anything. Nothing matters. And on the other side, life is fucking meaningless. So why not do the things that you love? Why not do the things that will bring you happiness? There are infinite paths that you can take. Infinite things that you can do. But you'll have to do those things. You'll have to take a path. Only then will happiness come. And by we, I mean I. I don't need to speak for anyone else here. I'm talking about myself. I'm the one who has this crippling existential dread. But for some inexplicable fucking reason, making these shitty videos that are completely meaningless and a total waste of time, a waste of time for me for making them, a waste of time for you for watching it, doing this shit of all things makes me feel like I have purpose in life. I don't know why this is the path that I picked out of the infinite paths that I had. But I'm glad I at least do have a path. Because in almost all other cases, even though I intellectually understand that this is the path to happiness, I refuse to take it. I can't come to terms with it because the dread is always looming. But when I'm doing this for some reason, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Fujino-sensei, why did you stop drawing? Actually, I'm working on a bigger manga. Fujino-sensei, why did you stop drawing? No answer. But I have started drawing again. Fujino, why do you draw? Maybe in like 5 or 10 years when I look back at this video, I'll have it all figured out. But for now, I don't. And I don't think I need to. Because I know I'll keep making videos. So yeah, thanks for watching. And I really, really mean it. Thank you for watching me watch this cartoon that has so profoundly impacted me and has most likely completely changed me as a human being. Until next time, see ya.